Ellen DeGeneres is trying to make a comeback, and it's not so good. But before we get started, make sure you hit like on this video so this video can go out into the algorithm to people just like you, and it can help this channel grow. This is a channel where we look at things from a Christian lens and we give our thoughts on it. We usually do reactions and we also do teachings and such. And also, if you love Christian content or you just want to learn more, make sure you subscribe. So let's get into the video. Lately, I have been watching Noah channel. I think it's Noah J. Is it Noah J? I think it's Noah J. I can't remember. Let's see. I forgot his name. Noah Jacob. Yeah. Noah J. Jacob. But I've been watching his videos and they have been like very interesting, right? And man, it's just some things that I saw while watching some of this video, and I was like putting two and two together, and we're gonna touch bases on that after this video. We're probably gonna watch half of it. I'm not sure, but let's see where it takes us.
Trying to make a comeback. Title of this video right here is Ellen just tried to come back and she completely failed. Let's get straight into this.
So it has been 1.5 years since Ellen released what she described as her very last stand-up special, For Your Approval. This of course was Ellen's big clapback to her detractors, haters, whatever you would like to call them, after she was outed for being yet another power-hungry tyrant in the entertainment industry. Basically, Ellen treated anyone around her who wasn't a celebrity like dirt underneath her shoes. And immediately in her last comedy special, she chose to play the victim in the funniest way possible.
Ellen DeGeneres finds herself at the center of a storm of controversy.
Being accused of going too far, too gay.
Yes, Ellen really acted as if going too gay was ultimately the reason for her cancellation. You know, I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that she branded herself and
Yeah, playing a victim is not a smart move. Like, it seems like it is, but it's just never a smart move.
No.
To millions of dollars based on this nice person facade that she kept running for decades. The woman's catchphrase was literally, "Be kind to one another." She would say that literally every day at the conclusion of her show.
I always end each show by saying, "Be kind to one another."
Breaking news tonight. Is the Queen of Nice really the Queen of Me?
And then it turns out there were dozens of accusations of her being a Karen witch, both professionally and when she was out in the general public.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar. That's what she is. This environment, this toxic culture that she created in the office has been going on for 16 years.
In 2018, Dana DiMatteo flew from Chicago to Los Angeles and was delighted to be picked out of the audience to have some fun with Ellen.
And I know, like, y'all probably thinking, like, why you doing a live reaction to a live reaction? Well, I love, like, doing live reaction to a live reaction because I love, like, seeing other people's reaction and then have y'all look at my reaction and that person's reaction. And so that's why I like to do it. But I try not to look at the whole video because I don't want to take from that person, like, content. So let's just skip to this because this is really good. It talks about the part where she is hanging out with P. Diddy.
Overall, the entire special was a steaming pile of dog crap, and it did not make the splash that Grandma thought that it would, as she really came off as entitled, arrogant, deeply out of touch, and completely unapologetic. And both critics and fans alike were left disappointed. And then to make matters even worse, it's really no secret that she had this very public relationship with Diddy for years, who has congruently lost public favor at a rapid pace due to being exposed for his not-so-private life. And his expose coincidentally actually happened right around the time that Ellen's special came out. You know, they really killed those two birds with one stone.
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes.
Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that?
And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
And then it will carry on there.
Yeah. No, I mean, the after party.
No, I know about them.
Thanks to my friend Diddy.
Ellen was all
always
about
life
the
of
after
party.
parties.
Apparently, I have a history of not knowing which parties I've been invited to, Diddy. Happy birthday, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, or as I like to call him, Cuddle McSnugglestuff. No, you don't need to know why. This group of kids...
Alright, Ellen, whatever freak offs Diddy was having, Ellen was 100% there and participating.
Facts.
And nobody calling Diddy Cuddle McSnugglestuff, that is very personal.
Right.
She came up with that word inside of his bed.
Yeah.
100%.
to call him Cuddle McSnugglestuff. No, you don't need to know why. This group of kids had a dream to dance with Diddy. Today, that dream came true.
You're gonna be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You don't have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late,
What
please.
time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay,
But not
okay.
too late. Because, you know, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I really do
Know what I'm
think that
saying?
it's no
What?
coincidence that she was so close to Diddy for all of these years, who ended up being an absolute freaked out psychopath who would do
Let's just go back to that. She said that's when the party really gets started. When you get there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
group of kids had a dream to dance with Diddy. Today, that dream came true.
You're gonna be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You don't have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late,
What
please.
time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay,
But not
okay.
too late. Because, you know, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I really
she said, not too late. And she said, I'm going to talk to you later about it after this. Like, she didn't even want to, like, say what time. She said, not too late.
really do think that it's no coincidence that she was so close to Diddy for all of these years, who ended up being an absolute freaked out psychopath who would do absolutely anything to gain power and influence. Like, the guy was doing really bad shit for decades. And to me, anyone who had a seemingly close relationship to him like Ellen did for all of these years, while she was also so deeply ingrained in Hollywood in general, had to know that some suspect shit was going on in the background. Because you have to understand that these things were allegedly talked about in entertainment circles for decades. But still, Ellen platformed him almost every single year of her show. She paraded him around kids, and even described him as her favorite guest of all time. Look, all I'm saying is you don't earn a nickname like Cuddle McSnugglestuff by merely having a working relationship with someone. And when Ellen was questioned about her connection to Diddy when the files kind of started to come out, she had absolutely nothing to say.
If you had to choose between flipping a house or flipping dirt, what would you pick? Here's the truth. Land.
Ellen, were you surprised by the allegations about P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy?
Ellen,
He's been on your show many times.
Have a good night.
Have you been to his parties?
Not only that, but once the hammer really started to come down upon Diddy's head,
Pause.
Ellen coincidentally moved right out of the country right around the time that his home was getting raided by the feds. And eventually all of the things that Diddy was doing in the dark would come to light, as we all learned that Sean Combs was a prolific abuser of multiple people.
When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent. And he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs.
So in November of 2024, when she and her wife moved to Southwest England, many people saw this as her attempting to distance herself from the downfall of her good friend. In other words, the spot got too hot and Ellen had to bounce.
Mind y'all, she moved to Southwest, England? New England, right?
As her attempting to distance herself from the downfall of her good friend. In other words,
participate in the freak-offs.
So in November of 2024, when she and her wife moved to Southwest England, many people saw this as her attempting to distance herself from the downfall of her good friend. In other words, the spot got too hot and Ellen had to bounce. Although she herself claimed that she left because Trump would be taking office, and she simply could not live in a country being governed by his regime.
A beautiful woman up there. That's your mother, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, look at her.
Hello.
Yeah, she's available if you're interested. I'd like to offer her.
So she went over to England and purchased a $20 million ranch, And then a couple of months after that, another $30 million mansion. She spoke about this publicly during a private event held at a theater over there. We got here to England the day before the election, and we woke up to lots of texts from our friends and crying emojis. We were like, we're staying here. We're not going back, we're not leaving. So we bought a house that we thought was going to be a part-time house, then we decided we needed a different house, and now we're selling that house. And strangely enough, after only living in England for 1 calendar year, the couple has reportedly moved back to America. And the whole thing seemed extremely suspicious and performative to me. For one, because of everything happening with Cuddle McSnuggle stuff, and for two, because Ellen is a massive hypocrite. She said during the same live appearance at the Everyman Theater that she specifically was leaving because of the Trump regime, and the fact that the LGBT community would now be under attack, claiming that she took issue with same-sex marriage potentially being unprotected once again under federal law.
There are people in America and Republicans who would quite like...
So, it's just like, she moved right when P. Diddy got arrested. That's very sus. That's very sus. And now that these files are out, like, she's not on the file, by the way. They have not found her to file. Let's just let y'all know, like, she's not on the file yet. Yet. You know? I know we were talking about farmers and stuff. Let's see. Right here.
Faced any sort of criminal charges in relation to the likes of Diddy or Epstein for that matter. But to me, she really does seem like the type of person to look the other way to continue to gain power and relevance, as there were many such cases of her allegedly doing this with her very own show in regards to the higher ups seemingly doing whatever they wanted to the peasants who worked for them. I don't know, it's just crazy how quickly Ellen really fell out of public favor. You know, everyone really turned on her after seeing through this 3-decade facade. Like, if you go look at the comments on any of her public posts on literally any platform, there was some really dark shit going on there. But either way, I want to know what you...
And also, like, there was a part where... I'm trying to find out when this lady was talking. Oh, yeah, check this out.
Out of the audience to have some fun with Ellen. But then she says she was shocked when she was briefed on the comedy bit by the producers.
They tell you, you know, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star, not you.
She emailed the owner of the restaurant and complained about your chip nail polish.
What?
And I was like, what?
So essentially, Ellen was one of the first people to be genuinely canceled. And once she was...
So... a lot of people say that she's actually like really not. She actually not nice. She's really mean. She's very rude and stuff, and you know, all this other stuff, right? And so I was just looking at something because she moved to London, like not London, but Southwest England, right? So it's crazy. Oh man, I'm receiving a phone call, and I actually. Crazy part is this is my camera and it's on my phone, so we gotta wait till it stop. I did put on do not disturb, but apparently do not disturb do not work, so we're gonna wait till my phone stop ringing, because oh man, let's see, I hope it didn't mess up the quality. Okay, so it didn't mess up the quality, that's good. So, London is located in the southeast of England, right? Because I was wondering, I was like, yeah, that's in the UK, right? I had to make sure. I'm not really big on like stuff outside America. I'm gonna be real. So that is, so she lived in England, which is in the UK. What I find very interesting is that I was looking at this earlier. I saw this video way earlier before I ran into this video. This is the crazy part. I got to find it. Where is the video? Video. Is it not gonna? Man, I had the video up and okay. Oh, spy. Let's go here. Home. I think it was this, right? Yes. All right, so check this out.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know, part 2. All you do is go to this website, and it lets you find out exactly how.
UK has arrested 4 people on suspicion of spying for Iran. Now, Akanksha, I quickly just want to also tie in the fact that when we talk about the European nations, of course, we know where Pedro Sanchez stands on this entire matter. Going forward, how long do you think European nations can rally behind what's happening in West Asia?
The fact of the matter is, go by the information that's just trickled in. 4 arrests have been made by the Scotland Yard. The counter-terrorism police unit of the Scotland Yard has arrested 1 Iranian national, 3 dual British Iranian nationals, so 4 arrests in total. They believe that they were spying.
So, where she was living at, there were some arrests that happened in the UK. Iran people that were arrested in the UK, right? And so she it's like she moved from the UK back to America, and now it's just like, it is just so crazy because she moved away from the U.S. because of Trump, and now she's back in America. And there were spies in London. What that got to do with anything? When we look at this on a spiritual level, it's kind of like, it's kind of creepy. I ain't gonna say creepy. It's just, I don't know what made me tie those two in together. And I wish I remember. I had got a phone call before I made this video, so it kind of made me forget what I was going to talk about in the video. But for there to be spies in London, then I went, yeah, in the UK itself. Not in London, but in the UK itself, where she was living at. And then she moves back to the United States. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the spiritual realm. And I just find that very interesting. That Ellen, it's just not going in her favor. That's the point. It's not going in her favor. Nothing not going in her favor, right? I don't know when she moved back to Cali. I forgot when they said. But it's just, things are not going in her favor right now. Regardless of what she do, it's not going in her favor. She needs to repent. She needs to turn to Jesus. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. She need to. Because no matter where she go, no matter where you go, there's some issues if you don't have Jesus. If you're doing all this evil stuff, it's going to come back with consequences, right? We're going to come back with consequences. I think that's the biggest thing, is you're going to come back with consequences. Consequences of our sins and stuff. So you need to turn away from that. And we're seeing a lot of like famous people who are dealing with the evil stuff that's going on in Hollywood. There's consequences, man. I'm talking about big names. I'm talking about the elites. And I seen someone talk about this not too long ago, and I forgot who it was, but they were like, "Yo, the elites, like, yo, a lot of stuff is about to get exposed." And We're seeing it. Stuff are getting exposed left and right. I'm not huge on conspiracy theories, but I am huge on the spiritual realm and what happens and what goes on. So I just thought it was very interesting that, you know, she tried to make a comeback and it's just tough for her. It is tough. It is hard. Too much going on. It's like there's nothing you can really do. Like once that darkness have been exposed by light, it is hard to make a comeback unless you repent and turn to Jesus. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. And especially like with the whole like UK thing, like I thought that was interesting. I don't know, maybe I was off track. Maybe I was somewhere on the deep end. I went into a deep rabbit hole. But make sure you hit that subscription button. Make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the content. And with that being said, man, I hope y'all have a great day. I am out.